Bihar election dates to be out at 4 p.m. today. That's the breaking news that's coming in. The Bihar election dates will be announced at 4 p.m. today. Remember, yesterday there was a press briefing by the Election Commission in which the Election Commission hailed the SIR exercise that has been completed in the state of Bihar, and now we're learning that the dates will be announced today at 4 p.m. Remember, the Chief Election Commissioner Nitish Kumar also mentioned that the poll process will be completed before 22nd of November. That is when the Assembly tenure is ending. But the dates will now be announced today at 4 p.m. India Today's Maria Shakil is now joining us with more on this. Maria, yesterday the Chief Election Commissioner Nitish Kumar made it clear that the poll process will conclude before November 22nd, and now we're learning that the dates will be announced today.
Assembly has to be formed before 23rd of November in Bihar. And, the CEC and the entire team was in Bihar for assessing what exactly is the nature of preparation. What we are now being told is that at 4 p.m. the press conference will be held. And in all probability, there is, election dates, the polling dates will be announced. So the much awaited election of the year, in the sense that this is the last election of 2025, is likely to be announced today. Both sides, the NDA and the Mahagatbandhan, have been in the preparation mode. The seat sharing formula has been worked out by both the sides. Now it is the day. It is for the model code of conduct to kick in. And of course, the nature of, the actual people's test will happen. And so what we can tell our viewers is that there is a press conference which is scheduled to take place at the Gyan Bhavan. And the model code of conduct will kick in from today itself, because that is the process of law which is followed. And elections in Bihar will be announced today by the Election Commission of India.
Right, Maria, in fact, the Election Commission also met with the political parties, and one demand that was constant there was consensus on one demand, that there should be fewer phases in the Bihar elections.
Well, the last election was in 3 phases. It's a big state with 243 seats, so it's unlikely that it will be reduced to further. It could be a 2-phase election, as has been the tradition in the state. But because of deployment of, central forces, it could be an election in longer phases as well. So an election in 2 phases is what is being, discussed extensively. But yes, what we can tell our viewers at the moment is that election dates for Bihar, poll-bound state, an important state for both the Mahagatbandhan and NDA, will be announced today. It's a state which has all the eyes, in recent months, because in Lok Sabha elections it has, convincingly voted for Prime Minister Modi since 2014, ever since Mr. Modi arrived on the anvil. And in 2015 was the first election in which we saw how, the Mahagatbandhan won with a landslide. Then 2020, it was a return of Nitish Kumar in the People's Court again. So the state has seen multiple flip-flops, multiple alliances being forged by Nitish Kumar while he retained the Chief Minister's chair. And again, after being the longest-serving Chief Minister of the state, Nitish Kumar will be in People's Court to face the people's, assessment of his work. In recent weeks, there has been projects and, announcements worth thousands of crores which have happened. Thousands of crores of schemes distributed for women of Bihar, who have been very crucial for ensuring Nitish Kumar's victory in election after election. Thousands of crores distributed to the youth of Bihar, 1,000 rupees per youth for an unemployed youth. Then the pensioners have got a lot of money as well. So in all, what we have seen certainly is that this is an election where direct benefit transfer will play a crucial role. There is an X factor in Prashant Kishore and his Jan Swaraj party, which has been working on the ground. And of course, there is the leader of opposition in Tejasvi Yadav, who I interviewed just a week ago as he completed his yatra in Bihar. trying to make issues central around the youth and their needs, making it very, very specific to their concerns, making it very, very specific to the people of Bihar rather than making it about, some rhetoric. So let's see how it plays out. But what we can tell our viewers certainly is that today is the day when Model Code of Conduct kicks in and the announcements for the poll dates will happen.
Maria, today is also the day when Nitish Kumar will be inaugurating the first phase of Patna Metro, and at 4 p.m. The dates of the elections will also be out. How much of an impact will that have on the elections?
Look. After the Model Code of Conduct kicks in at 4 p.m., there cannot be any major projects which can be unveiled. So everything which has to happen will happen today, early or before that. But interestingly, in recent days, close to 1 lakh crore money which has been disbursed to women, to youth, to various sections, including pensioners, all that becomes important. In recent weeks, there has been a lot of effort, particularly for the projects, in the sense of infrastructure projects. Bihar has often suffered because of, absence of infrastructure, roads, motorable roads, 4-laning, 5-laning of roads. These are concerns which are there. It's also the state which has seen the highest level of migration. Those who have, Biharis who have migrated out of Bihar because of lack of employment opportunities to states across the country for building those states. And right now what we are seeing is that this is the period in which Biharis, migrants return because of Diwali, Chhath. These are important festivals in the state. It's a very culturally rooted state. And this is the time when they would be, in their home state, and often elections take place in this time so that they can cast their vote. SIR, or the Special Intensive Revision hearing, is going to take place in the Supreme Court tomorrow. In all, 47 lakh deletion has happened. The initial list had a deletion of 65 lakhs. So 18 lakh included, which essentially means that after the Supreme Court instructed the Election Commission that they should have a 12th document in Aadhaar, there was an addition of that. Because of Aadhaar, the 18 lakh people would have submitted their documents and given the residence proof. So SIR as an election talking point may not be the case, because that's not what you sense on ground.
Right.
But certainly what I sense is the direct benefit transfer, which is going to be the game changer in these elections.
Right. Maria, thank you so much for joining us. And in fact, we're also being joined by my colleague Rohit Singh. Rohit, big announcement expected today. The Bihar poll dates are expected to be out at 4 p.m. The Election Commission met the political parties, in which the political parties demanded that there should be fewer phases. In fact, they also put forward this demand that elections should be after the Chhath Puja that is widely celebrated in the state of Bihar. So will those demands be also considered by the Election Commission?
Well, yes, see, the crucial 2 days important meeting of the Election Commission ended yesterday in Patna, and after which we are seeing that the day they have returned, next day we are seeing that the Election Commission is all set to announce the dates for the big Bihar elections. 4 p.m. is when the dates for the polls will be announced. And what is more important, and the most important part, is that in how many phases election going to take place. Because remember, when the Election Commission team held rounds of meeting with the political parties and their representatives in Patna day before yesterday, there were several political parties who insisted that it would be good that if elections are held in Bihar in just a single phase. In fact, the Janata Dal United, which is the key alliance partner of the NDA, they were also of the view that election should be held in only one phase. However, there were some parties like the BJP also, like the RJD also, who were okay with the fact that maybe one or maybe maximum two. That election should take place in 2 phases. But there was not a single party who wanted that the election should be prolonged for a longer period of time. everyone wanted that the election should be completed at the fastest pace. In fact, one or maximum two phases is what every political parties have demanded. So what we are learning is that there is a likely possibility that elections in Bihar could be held in maximum two phases, not more than that, as all the political parties have also demanded in their meeting with the Election Commission. Back to you.
All right, Rohit, do stay with us. We're also being joined by my colleague Piyush Mishra. Piyush, what is the reason behind the political parties demanding fewer phases for the Bihar elections? One to maximum two phases only is what they are demanding. Piyush. All right, Rohit also continues to stay with us. Rohit, what is the reason behind these political parties demanding fewer phases, saying that maximum two phases should be conducted for the Bihar elections?
Well, see, law and order continues to remain a big question wherever elections are held. If the law and order situation is not good, if the state is facing some sort of a menace like the problem of Naxalism, so there we see that elections are held in more phases. And that has been the case in Bihar also, because I have covered several elections in the past also. In 2010, remember, elections were held in 7 phases because of the problem of Naxalism in Bihar. In 2015, it came down to 5 phases. In 2020, it came down to 3 phases because of the COVID condition. And now what we are seeing that the problem of Naxalism has also almost ended in Bihar, and just elections are going to be held in only one state across the country. So there was no problem of paramilitary forces also who may be deployed at other places. So it's only Bihar which is going to elections in just about a month or so. So there is no dearth of paramilitary forces also. Maximum and forces could be deployed at all the polling booths in 1 or 2 phases. So what we are learning is that this is the reason why political parties, they don't want that the election should be prolonged for 3 or 4 phases, because also it becomes very monotonous for the political parties to maintain the tempo with which they start the polls. So in Bihar at this point of time, the law and order situation is more likely to be under control. It is, and the problem of Naxalism is also over. So and elections are, Bihar is the only state which is going to polls. So there is no problem of security forces also, and the Ministry of Home Affairs can deploy as many as security forces that Election Commission demands. So that is why we are learning that the political parties, they don't want to prolong this election. They just want it to be over in 1 phase or maximum 2 phases. Back to you.
Right, Rohit. And if we talk about the CM phase, the NDA seems to be clear that Nitish Kumar is going to be their CM phase. But if we talk about Mahagatbandhan, the Mahagatbandhan is still not clear who is going to be their CM phase in these elections.
There is no denying the fact.
All right, so the big update as far as the Bihar elections is concerned, that the election dates will be announced at 4 p.m. today. Remember, yesterday the Election Commission had briefed the media that the poll process would be completed before November 22nd. That is when the Assembly tenure is ending. In fact, the Election Commission also met with all the political parties in Bihar, and there were several demands that were raised by the political parties. One of them was that there should be fewer phases in the Bihar elections.